Good morning, everyone. Tammy here on the fourth class of our Radiance Wellbeing journey. Today, we're going to take a dip in the waters of energizing, and mentioning the word water, we associate energy in the body with the kidneys, and the kidneys correspond to the water element. Sometimes we get depleted and we feel either a physical or an emotional slump. And so we do these energizing practices to help enliven both the body and the spirit. So we will be doing some kidney-based exercises and other very tonifying and revivifying practices today. So I hope you enjoy it. We're going to change it up a little bit. There'll be some practices that you've done before and some new ones. So I hope you enjoy it, and we'll make a start. So as we always start in a comfortable seat, whether that's cross-legged, whether that is straddling the bolster. And the idea, as I like to mention, the idea of sitting on the bolster is not that we're not capable of sitting on the ground. It's that when you raise the hips, you tilt the pelvis forward, there's a slight arch in the back. And as you raise and elongate the spinal column, you create more space in the torso for the organs. So they're not squashed down, so that you rise up and there's a lot of space, and we can start to massage the connective tissue through the breath and through the movements. And so shoulders up, back and down, hands wherever they're comfortable, up, down, in your lap. And we're going to come into 5 senses presence. Just start with a present moment awareness and a grounding. Eyes can be open or closed. And if you choose to leave your eyes open, maybe softly, I invite you to gaze softly at the ground below you. And we begin with the sense of sight. And even if you have your eyes closed, there may be shapes, textures, colors behind the eyes. There may be a little bit of movement. Just tap into what you see behind those closed lids. And if your eyes are open and you're looking at the ground, again, color, texture, movement, stillness, whatever that may be. And we allow the thoughts to come and go, and the thoughts will always come. So just let them come, invite them in, and then bid them farewell, as though there were clouds in the sky. And so after the sense of sight, the sense of hearing, hear the sound of my voice, maybe the faint hum of traffic on the street. You might hear your own heartbeat, that light, gentle music in the background. Listen in, notice and become aware. And coming to the sense of smell, there's always a particular smell in the room. Today we have some sunflowers, maybe there's a little bit of that earthiness. Otherwise, just a faint tinge on the air, whatever that may be. Maybe the smell of your own skin, the shampoo in your hair. Very light, almost imperceptible. Let's try and become present with something that almost isn't there. So we sharpen our senses. Now the sense of feeling, the sense of touch, the legs and hips heavy as you sit here, the feeling of the clothes on the skin. There may be a faint feeling of a breeze from the air conditioning. Just tap into that. Again, you may feel your own pulse, feel your own breath. And the sense of taste. Some days the mouth is a little woolly. Some days it's sharper. Get to know how that feels, how that tastes in your mouth. Is it crisp and fresh from the toothpaste? Is there a quick cup of coffee? Keep on breathing. And now we become aware of all 5 senses at the same time. So we're really inhabiting the body with the mind and the attention. So seeing, smelling, tasting, touching, hearing. We're breathing, connect to the breath. And we gently, if the eyes are closed, gently open the eyes. And maybe notice how you feel now from when you first walked in the door or left your car. Is there something different about the quality of your awareness, the quality of your mind? Just tap into that. We'll start with one pull down heavens. And so we warm up the palms of the hands, get that heat, get that friction, that feeling of energy in the palms of the hands. And then we bring the hands out to the side. There may be a slight buzzing, there may be tingling, there may be nothing. It's all good. Heat. And let's rise up. Gently pulling the earth energy and bringing from the ether, and now bringing down from the sky and bathing ourselves, ready to start our practice today with that beautiful, relaxing, balancing energy. And we release back down to the earth. Check out the fingers. Now, this morning, I want to start with energizing the face, something we almost never do. Perhaps when we go to the esthetician and we get a facial, there's some massaging. But I just had a weekend intensive medical qigong class, and we learned all of these tapping and knocking techniques, which I find are very enlivening. And so we just get all 5 fingers, and we start to gently tap the face. So we tap around the chin. We don't really go down to the throat that much because we just don't want to, get into that very delicate area there, but just around the chin. And we can do it all 10 fingers at the time. We can alternate. We can piano. I don't know what you call that, little piano effect, whatever feels good. And you can go as hard or as soft as you like. But what we're doing is there's a lot of nerve endings. And in qigong, we have meridians, and you just percussively, all of these percussive movements are enlivening the lymph under the skin. They're creating a blood flow into the face. So fresh oxygen around the forehead, the eyebrows, the temples, the bridge of the nose. Just be careful of the eye socket. Just go as far as feels comfortable. And tapping, knocking, however that may be, around the ears, back around the chin. It should be a pleasant feeling. It should not feel bad at all. It just should feel like, wow, this is something different. And now we go to the scalp, and you can go to town here. If you find that middle ridge and you go side to side or do it together, it's beautiful. It's like a very interesting kind of enlivening feeling. Round the back, round to the occipital ridge, the back of the neck, the back of the head. Make it your own, make it fun. And we can enjoy the sound of that tapping at the same time. So there's a bit of sound reverberation happening, and the nerve endings are getting stimulated, and the lymph is moving and detoxifying, and just go. We want to close your eyes and just feel into it, and very different enlivening practice. And you can do this anytime when you're on your own, as long as you're not somewhere where you feel uncomfortable doing it. And now let's just very slowly just bring it down to the shoulders and then bring it out. And now we just shake out. So let's shake out all of that energy. Sometimes we can do this flicking the fingers like you've got water on your hands, right out. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to do a dredging exercise. So dredging is when you take one hand and you just pull forcefully down and flick out any stuck energy. So we'll do it 3 times on one side, and then you pull from the shoulder, push down. Again, we're getting that lymph activated, getting into the meridians. That was actually 4. Just keep it soft and smooth. And now hands on the thighs and see how you feel. Is there an enlivenment of the face? Is there a lightness? Do you feel awakened in the skull? How do you feel? It's a little different. Think about how it felt while you were doing it and how you feel now. Is this a little softer, lighter, gentler? Keep on breathing and noticing. Okay, yeah. And now we're going to do a priming breath seated, because I think that's a good idea to do it today seated. And then when we get up, we'll do our clearing, cleansing, and then energizing. So for the priming breath, we breathe in and bring our hands up, and they're parallel, and you're stretching the front of the body. You're looking up. Don't arch the back too much. Engage the abdominal muscles. And as we breathe out, we form a fist, chug our hands down, and twirl the spine to the right side and breathe out through the mouth. I'm just going to do it slowly. Breathe in, up, hands parallel, stretching, breathe out, twirl to the other side, spiraling and breathing out. Breathe in and breathe out. And so when we start to do this, breathe in, breathe out. When we start to do this faster, it's like a locomotive. So breathe in. Hands can go as far as they go. If there's an impingement in the shoulders, please go gentle. And here we're breathing into the chest. Just go very gently. If you want to, just go very softly. Depending on the range of motion in your arms, you can just move without going high with your hands. And let's finish on 3, 2, and 1. And after this, let's just go a little slower. Let's just raise up, raise down, raise up, raise down. 1 more, up and down, up and down. And then gently, gently release the hands. Let's just shake it out. And then feel for the breath, a regular pattern. Again, feel for the quality of the energy. Today, as we energize, we're going to move the energy up. So there'll be a lot of lightness coming from the chest, the shoulders, the head, the crown. At the same time, we want to keep grounded in the bottom. There's no going away from that, because we do not want to lose our balance. But start to feel for the quality of that rising, ascending energy. And so now we'll make our way up. And again, as I always say, be as gentle and soft as you can. If you need to take support from the wall or from something, but I always like to start in like a tabletop, hands and feet, toes are tucked, and then you gently, with your fingertips, press yourself up. Try and get your hands in front of you, and then gently, as you put your heels onto the ground, hands on the thighs, and push up through the heels very, very gently, very slowly, so that we're not creating that unbalanced pressure. And let's move the bolsters to the side, make space. So we'll start with the exercise that's called tossing the stone. And so our feet, actually for this one, I want the feet a little wider than hip distance apart. We've probably done this before, but it does warrant an explanation and demonstration. So here, this is, again, we're in the beginning, we'll always cleanse and clear the energy. And so this is a clearing exercise. And so we breathe in and up in the center. And as we breathe out, we bring our left hand forward and our right hand back as if we're throwing something away on both sides, and we bend through it. And then we bend and rise up and bend through it onto the right hand in the front, left hand in the back. Breathe in, breathe out. Be very gentle and soft with the spiral and gentle with your hands. And so the idea is that as we're tossing, we're throwing away any stuck energy down into the earth. So the intention, I know that the hand is a little bit up, but we're going to try and have that intention that whatever no longer serves us, it goes back into the earth and gets recycled. The earth can accept and absorb so many things. If you have any knee issues, don't worry about the knees, just do the hands. You'll still get the benefit of arms up, breathe in and out. And then again, we're making this a moving breath meditation. So if you want to close your eyes, just feel through it. Feel through that liberating, cleansing, clearing feeling. But as we move the knees, we're getting into those joints, into the ankles, into that spine. And let's finish on 3, 2, and 1. And then just gently bring the arms down, and we'll go into Wuji. Feet hip distance apart, nice long spine, chin is tucked, crown is to the sky, a little bit of space, palms are behind, and the fingers are quite actively pointing down, and there's a softness in the knees, and we just feel for that quality. So the breath, the pulse, how does it feel? And release. So we're coming into a kidney clearing exercise right now. And the kidney clearing, again, we have the feet around about the same width apart. And I'll just demonstrate it, and then we'll all join in together. So basically the kidneys, as I said, they're like the powerhouse battery of the body according to traditional Chinese medicine. And so when we feel depleted or when we want to energize, the kidney is one of the first places we go to clear it out and then bring in fresh energy. And we have some breathing practices and we have some movement. So for the movement, we bring the right hand behind so that we're not exactly on the kidney, but you spread it out so that, you know, the kidney is somewhere between the ribs and the pelvis. And that's this place where the hand will go at the back. And then we take this left hand and we breathe in. And then as we breathe out, we're scooping the energy like water, hand through a water. And then we flip the palm and we look up and we create a beautiful crescent shape. And then we breathe in, bend the knees, scoop through like the hand is scooping up water in a lake. And we look at the hand, and as it rises up, we flip it up to the sky and breathe out. And so the breathing out is down, sorry. And the breathing in, whenever we stretch up, we breathe in. And whenever we're kind of collapsing and not collapsing, but folding, we breathe out, because that's a natural way for the diaphragm to open up as we stretch up and breathe out as we bend, fold forward. And again, this is a moving meditation. with the breath. And just picture those kidneys on that left side, clearing out anything unwanted through the water. Let's clear it all out through the water. Let's clear it out and make space. So we're clearing it out, making space through that beautiful spacious sky, coming in, clearing it out, making space. You can go as slow as you like. And again, if the bending forward is an issue, please just stay upright and do the hand motions. It all works. It's actually, a lot of it is about intention. You could do these exercises and not move and visualize this movement in your mind, and you'll still get the benefit. So don't think that the movement is king. Movement is there to guide us. And let's just do 2 more. And wherever you are, make this your last. And then we shake it out. This arm always gets a little tight when I do this. And so we take the left hand, put it behind. And so, as you can see, it's in the vicinity of the kidney, so a little bit towards the right side of the back of the body. And let's start, breathe in and then scoop up. And then turn. So make this as flowing, gentle, soft, and there's a soft releasing here. So in traditional Chinese medicine, in medical qigong, we associate the color of ocean blue with the kidney, and that's connected to water. So feel very watery, very soft and gentle. And the idea is, this is not a shaking out of the energy. This is just a very slow, smooth letting go. Breathe in as you go up, breathe out as you go down. So palm to the sky on the inhale and cupped palm as if through water on the exhale on the way down. So you'll notice that we're getting a nice full body movement here through the feet, the legs. And yes, the body movement helps. But as people get more and more masterful at qigong, you can just stand and do nothing and the energy will move through the body with the mind. And that is pretty fantastic. The mind is capable of so much that we perhaps have not tapped into. Keep on going. I think there was a study once where they put people in the gym and got them to do bicep curls and saw their muscle mass. And they had people do it at home, just visualizing with their mind, and they built up the same muscle mass without lifting a single weight. So the mind is very powerful. And the last 3. It's 2. Very watery, very fluid, flowing. Last 1. And we'll meet in the center. Shake it out. So I noticed that when I put my hand behind, one shoulder is much more sticky than the other. You'll notice that the different parts of the body have different responses. So I think after this, let's do a bit of shaking because there was a little strain on the shoulders. So feet hip distance apart, and let's just start to shake. Breathe through it, and then we're shaking. And if sometimes in the shaking, if you want to lift your heels a little bit, it's kind of fun and nice, and it gives a different feeling. And you know, you don't have to go all the way up. You can just gently lift them up, or you don't have to. But there's many heights of where, you know, you can do a big drop, percussive drop, or you can do a mini one. And anytime we do this body on ground, this percussive feeling sends a reverberation into the muscles, the bones. Get to shake the head out. And just feel where you want to release. So we're releasing down through the feet, into the earth, down the shoulders, down the head, down the torso, down the arms, into the earth. We have the symbiotic relationship with the earth. So whatever the earth needs, we kind of have to give out of our body, not all the nonsense, rubbish and trash that we give, but the body has different minerals and different chemical reactions happening in it. And so this kind of energy release goes into the earth and the earth recycles it, and it's all good. The way that we exchange oxygen and CO2 with the trees. This is this beautiful symbiosis where we give the other what is needed. And let's just gently come to Wuji. Feel the energy. Feel where the energy is circulating, where it's stagnant. Temperature, texture of the skin. All of these things are beautiful ways, messages that the body gives to you. Makes you feel alive. And let's shake it out. The next one we have, I'm doing a lot of upper body exercises today. So today's kind of chest and shoulders and head. This one is called a pranic bath. Now this is a little complicated, but it's it's a very intensive kind of shoulder, elbow, wrist, neck. And so this is from yoga. I'll quickly show it to you, and I have to do it forward and then backwards. So you're gathering, and then you put your elbows together, and it's like there's this beautiful nectar or mist or something, and you bring it over your head, and you pull it down to the back, and you go to a reverse prayer. I mean, a reverse backwards prayer. And then you flip the fingers upwards. So first, the back of your hands were together at the back, and then you flip them so that the fingers are up, and you create a circle behind you. And then you bring the hands back again. Now, we may only do a few of these because I know it can get quite sticky. So if your shoulders aren't good, please just go as far as you can go and visualize the movement. So we breathe in and breathe up, and then we bring the hands over so that the fingers are down, the backs of the hands are together, and then we flip that and push the hands up and push them out so that they're behind us so we can't see them. And then we bring them forward again. And so imagine there's this beautiful nectar, glowing mist, honey, whatever you want to see, and how it's just filling in all the cells of the body. Because now that we've cleared, we can start to renew with this pranic bath. And keep on breathing. So we breathe in and up, giving ourselves this energy bath of glowing sunlight, whatever you want to see that you're scooping up into your hands. It could be water, it could be anything, something that is cleansing, clearing, and revivifying. And we'll just do one more here. Breathe in, back, around, out. And let's release that. So I know that some of these are a little bit challenging. Go only as far as you can. And then in some instances, you can just go as far as you can without having to really stretch the shoulder girdle if it's an issue and if there's any injuries. You can visualize in your mind your hands going back, be very soft and gentle. Okie dokie. I think let's do some twirling. So wider than hip distance apart. And we'll do our spinal twists and twirls. So we just get a little bit of movement happening in the arms. So breathing is normal, and then we just twist through it. Again, allow the arms and shoulders just to get that energy out. And here you may want to lift the back of the heel. So when we're grounding, we keep the feet on the ground. But today, because we're energizing, we can keep lifting those heels up, the opposite heel to the hand. Just feel how that gives you a little bit greater range of motion, doesn't impinge on the knees too much. Must always protect our knees, protect our lower back. So we're getting a little bit, and if there's too much, you can just do your arms. If you want to sit down and just flap your arms around, that's fine. So all of these can be seated. I just want to remind everyone at home as well that all of these practices can be seated. And if there is movement in the legs and no movement in the arms, just visualize it. Visualize that your body is doing it, and your body will actually believe that it's doing those exercises. And let's slow down. 3, 2, and 1, and release. We'll go back to Wuji. Always be mindful of the core, that we want to strengthen the core and not load the back. So let's go to Wuji. With Wuji, there's a slight engagement of the abdominal muscles. Again, feel for how that chi is moving. After doing so, the pranic breath was an energy wash kind of practice. Is there anything happening in the fingertips, in the toes? Be aware of the feet. Always be aware of the feet so that we have that beautiful, stable foundation. And release. The next pose is called Bird Spreads Its Wings. Now, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can either come up onto the balls of the feet, or you can just do the hands. Okay, so I'll show you from the front and I'll show you from the back, and you can go any height or no height with your feet. So the bird spreading its wings, and we have to be quite slow because this is a balanced posture. So if you feel like you've got a little bit of an issue with the balance and you're not so steady, keep the feet further apart. If you want to challenge yourself, keep the feet closer together as you wish. I'm not dictating anything. I invite you to feel free to just feel right now. Do you feel better going on the balls of the feet with the feet wider, or with them closer or very wide? And then you could even just lift your heels. So there's many levels. Whenever I ask you to lift your heels up, you can go whatever height or no height that is comfortable for you. So we gently rise up, breathe in, and the arms are coming up and the backs of the palms are coming together. And then we slowly come down and we breathe out and we bend through it and keep the back straight. Rise up, and you don't have to go very high, just as high. I'm not going very high. And then really, and this is very slow, mindful movement. So we're making sure that the back is protected as we come down. Just get that feeling of being a bird flapping its wings. Breathing out as we come down. Again, beautiful breath, movement meditation. Don't need to put your heels up if you don't want to. If you feel more comfortable with the heels down, the idea is to get that feeling of levity, of lightness, of being like a bird. The arms are the wings. And cross the hands in front. Abs are engaged, so navel to the spine. Breathe out. Cross the arms in front. We'll do 3 more. This one you kind of need to have your eyes open because the balance doesn't work with the eyes closed. 1 more. Very gentle, almost like you're so light, you could fly away. And now from here, can you please put your hands on your thighs, and I want you to come up very gently, vertebra by vertebra, pushing through the heels, pushing through the feet, through those leg muscles, and come up. Just check on the time. Okay. So again, let's just stand in Wuji and just feel. Now, there may be a certain softness and lightness that wasn't there before. We've cleared, cleansed, made space. We've floated and flowed. We've given ourselves a pranic bath, spread our wings. And is there a calmness, softness? What is going on in the mind, in the body, in the emotions? How does it feel different from 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, an hour ago? Can you feel more spaciousness? Is there that inner resilience? We've lifted the energy, and now we will balance it out. So let's shake it out. So you can, hopefully, when you're tapping into the body, you can feel after every few practices how something changes in you. And that kind of journey that we've been on of like releasing, making space, energizing, bringing, and then after that energizing, we're actually not all up in our head and we're not all kind of crazy. We're energized in a very soft, gentle way that we've built that resilience. And now we feel more aligned and centered and balanced. So the idea is that the energy, it's not like going to a cardio HIIT workout or something, and you're wonderfully alive, and then there's like this, where does all that energy go? We want to bring it back in. So we're going to balance before we go down to our meditation. So according to medical qigong, we cleansed and cleared, we nourished ourselves in that spaciousness, and now we're going to harmonize. So the harmonizing practices, I'll show you. Which ones haven't we done? Oh, I think we've done them before anyway, so that should be fine. We'll do embrace the tiger, return to the mountain. So that's that one where we, skimming the lake, reverse prayer, hands out, half circles, and then bring the chi back into the lower dantian. So when we bring the chi back into the lower dantian, we're storing that energy that we've created and that we're getting from the elements and the earth. We're storing it here in the lower dantian. And then we can also bring it and store it into the heart, and we can store it into the head. So we'll store it into the lower dantian, and then I'll do some movements where we're storing the energy in the middle and in the upper, so the heart and the third eye. So let's start. Feet are hip distance apart, and we breathe in and then we breathe out and skim the lake. Breathe in, reverse prayer up, breathe out, bend down, push back with the butt and push forward with the hands. semicircles. And now we're breathing in that beautiful life force energy. Imagine that there's this golden light and we're breathing it into the lower dantian. And then breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. And as we breathe out, we're still storing the energy, and then we breathe it in. And you can see that as a color, as a texture, as an essence, as anything you want it to be. It could be light, it could be fluid, just anything. Oh, sorry. We go here. I forgot to do the karate chop. 1 second. I can't talk and do this at the same time. And so we're bringing in that golden light, that beautiful nectar, that healing light, and storing it in here. And so the interesting thing is we can store on the exhale also. That's something I learned that was new. And so we're exhaling now and storing that energy. And now we inhale and then exhale, bring it up, go forward, bring it around. And let's make the next one the last one. And bring it in, and we exhale, store the energy, and then we inhale. And now let's bring the energy up, and we're just going to put our hands, let's rub them, get that heat, and put the hands, the elbows are down and the hands are in front of the heart space. You almost feel like there's this beautiful heat or light that's radiating from the palms to the heart and from the heart to the palms. We connect with our heart this way. We're bringing the energy up through the middle. So from the lower dantian, we've come to the middle. And if you can't feel it, excuse me, just visualize, see it, as if there's this golden ball of light inside the heart center, circling, connected to the palms of the hands, the warmth, the heat, the energy. And now gently we bring the palms up around the top of the head. That golden ball of light is circling behind the forehead, just above the space between the brows. We're balancing, harmonizing, feeling that energy move up and store into the cranium, third eye, the seat of our intuition, the connection to the all, to the universe. And then gently, 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 we bring the hands down. We'll end with bamboo in the wind. So we have 2 feet together and our hands are clasped very gently in front of the lower dantian. Close the eyes and allow the body to get off balance, back to balance, off center. A little bit like life. We lose our center and then we're trying to come back to it. And the body brings itself back to the center. So we learn these practices, we keep exercising that energetic flow, ebb and flow, off center, back to center, off balance, back into balance. And how we're trusting with our eyes closed, trusting we're not going to fall over. It's a beautiful metaphor for life. Sometimes we need to trust, we need to open to the universe, knowing that everything we need is within us. Balancing, centering, and gently open the eyes. We'll make our way down to lying down for our guided meditation. And so if you might feel a little chilly, so I really recommend, so when we do meditation, the temperature of the blood drops. And so I do suggest wearing something warm. And it's always a good idea to have a nice prop under your thighs, your knees, just so that the lower back, excuse me, I might drink some water before, doesn't get compromised. I'm going to turn the lights down. People at home, get comfortable. You may even want to put a little blanket on yourself. Make sure that you're nice and warm and cozy and comfortable, because that's where we want to be right now. And the weather is cooling down, so in future we should make sure we have something warm to wear. I always have trouble with these blinds, so I'm not sure if oh, today it's doing a good job of closing. Lovely. Let's see if I can get it there. So I invite you to wriggle around, get comfy. Make sure that your back is feeling good, that your shoulders are nice and even on the ground. And so we start with the weight of the body sinking into the earth. And at the same time, there's a beautiful soft melting of the back of the body down into the ground. Feel how gravity is pulling you down. Feel a softness on the front of the body, the skin, the flesh, supple, smooth. Maybe the texture of the skin is creamy, velvety, silky. Now we start to feel a beautiful heat, a glow coming from the earth's core, from the molten core rising up through the earth, warming the soles of the feet, energizing, enlivening. The feet are toasty warm, the skin, the flesh glowing. Sense of vitality, a sense of wellness. The heels, the toes, the top of the feet, the ankles, energized, alive. And that beautiful glow, that heat emanating from the molten core of the earth is energizing up through the shins and the calves, the skin and the flesh, a warm, glowing, luminous. There's a vitality and awakeness around the knees. The knees are warm, strong. The tops of the thighs, the backs of the thighs, heating, glowing, energizing, awake, vitality pulsing through them. And so these beautiful feet, legs and thighs that carry us through our day, they're being energized, becoming more powerful and strong. We feel that warmth, We sense that glow and the flow of energy. And now we direct that energy up through the pelvis, the buttocks, the hips, the warmth, the vitality moving through the stomach, small intestine, large intestine, kidneys, spleen. Feel the organs as if they're getting a plug into a power supply. The organs are vital and awake. The blood is flowing. We feel health and wellness radiating through the torso, the lungs, the heart. Feel that heart energized and alive. The lungs open and receiving. The whole torso is lit up, glowing, enlivened, and that beautiful enriching sense of wellness goes through the shoulders, down the arms and hands to the fingertips, lighting up, luminous. That flow of energy moves through the body, through the torso, through the arms and hands, up through the neck. The neck is strong. The face, the skull, alive, lit up, awakened. And there's a beautiful sense of well-being, of energizing light flowing down through the sky, from the universe down through the crown of the head. The whole body lights up, positioned between heaven and earth, sky and ground, as if there's an incredible electric charge of vitality, wholeness, health and wellness. All the cells, the tissues, the organs, the muscle, the skin, all becoming recharged and revitalized as we connect with the sky, with the earth, with our own DNA. Just allow that feeling of well-being to wash over you. A few moments of silence. So we gently come back to the breath, back to the heartbeat. Start to wriggle the fingers and the toes. Circle the wrists and the ankles. Gently move the head from side to side. Let's stretch out the whole body so we're got our hands over our heads, fingers pointing in the opposite direction, toes pointed, and fully stretch the body north to south, top to bottom, and leave the right hand up above the head, bring the knees in and turn over to the right side. Lay the cheek on the upper arm as a pillow. Knees are still bent. We integrate the practice with a few breaths here. This is a very beautiful, nourishing pose, this side-lying fetal position. I find it very beneficial to just linger here for a few moments after the practice. And then gently using the hands, take all the time you need to come up to a seat, whatever comfortable seat that might be. Slowly, mindfully, gently. So get comfortable. A little closer here. We'll end with pulling down the heavens. So we'll pull down the heavens 3 times. Just see if you're comfortable in your seat, and shoulders up, back and down. And then the hands gently rising up. Then we flip up and look up and shower that beautiful sky energy down through the body. And you can visualize it as a blue sky, as the sun, as the night sky, the stars, whatever you feel like. So we're harmonizing, bringing the body into balance between heaven and earth, sky and ground. On the day of balance, the autumn equinox, when night and day are almost equal, we harmonize and balance in the body. And then gently bring palm on palm to the heart center. Bow the head. Just take a few moments to feel into your own heart. And feel the breath under the skin, in the chest as it rises and falls on the inhalation and exhalation. And as we energize today, we also brought that energy into a beautiful, harmonized balance. See if you can feel, excuse me, that balance in the body, in the mind, in the spirit. Bring that into your day, into your week. The love, the light, the beauty and joy in me sees and honors the love, the light, the beauty and joy in you. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. We are now complete. And so just to let you know, next week we're going to be practicing the art of allowing. And I often call the art of allowing the same thing as letting go. So we're going to be doing some releasing, letting go practices. And I hope that you can bring any of these practices into your week, anything that spoke to you actually. I don't even necessarily want to tell you, do this or do that. If there was any one particular practice that you felt like was that spoke to you or was very enlivening, please feel free to try and practice that during the week. and see how you go. So I look forward to seeing you all next week. And that's our second last class. And then the week after, I'm still thinking of the theme. I've got lots of themes, but sometimes I let my intuition take me to where I think people need it. So have a beautiful first day of autumn equinox, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, everybody, for joining online. We'll see you soon. Bye.